Manatees are remarkable creatures. Being in the water with them is peaceful. The connection I feel with manatees comes back year after year when we look each other in the eye. Staring into a manatee's eyes is like you're looking into another world. The second that they feel the contact with your skin, they know you're not an enemy, and then you become best friend. Yeah, it hurts sometimes to have so much pleasure and realize that, that we're hurting them more than we give them pleasure. Yeah. I was the youngest and the last to be employed by Jacques Cousteau on expedition until he passed away. One day when they called me and said, hey, do you want to go on board Calypso in Vietnam? The oceanographic vessel that would sail across the world and take incredible people to discover incredible things. He came here in Crystal River in the Three Sister Springs just behind me, and I came to Florida hoping to see manatees. One of my first encounters, this mother manatee swam by with a calf, and you could tell the calf wanted to play with me, but the mother wanted to check me out first. And all it took was to extend my hand. This was then she decided she could move to the side and let her calf come to me. Not knowing if I was danger and trusting me with a calf, with a child. I remember talking to them, saying I was sorry, and she was asking me, what can you do to help us? And that triggered something in me, and I have come back every single year since then to do whatever I could to help the manatees.
Thanks for helping. I'm the coordinator for the manatee rescue team here. Every weekend this winter season, I got a text that there was an injured or orphaned manatee.
2021, we had over 1,000 manatees die in the state of Florida.
It's because of human pollution, and that human pollution fueling algal blooms that have shaded out and killed the seagrass.
Seagrass has been dying off over this past decade.
Seagrasses are the predominant food source for manatees, being that they're vegetarians. But what we were seeing in the Indian River Lagoon were manatees with their ribs showing. It's really one of the saddest things you've ever seen. In some cases, it's the female that has a calf, and she's given everything she has to keep her calf alive. Many of those mother manatees ended up dying, but their calves could be rescued.
You're looking at 25% of the entire manatee population dying because of human activities.
Contaminated water at the old Piney Point phosphate mine.
Officials in Florida are scrambling to avoid an environmental disaster.
I issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency.
Hundreds of homes have been forced to evacuate as officials try to prevent millions of gallons of wastewater from spilling into nearby areas.
The bigger issue, they say, is that there are dozens of similar plants, crumbling, aging infrastructure all over the state.
The governor and his office made the most catastrophic decision to release over 200 million gallons of toxic wastewater into the estuary and the Gulf. Scientists have been forbidden access to collect samples from that polluted water. For the ones who managed to collect samples, I also know for a fact that they were not allowed to publish the results. Somebody doesn't want you to know what was in that water.
Manatees are like the canary in the coal mine. You know, they're an indicator of what's happening in the environment. If they're the canary in the coal mine, the miners are already dead.
We've got to stop killing their homes. We have to protect what they eat. We have to give them safe passage from place to place. We know that our fate and the fate of nature are totally linked. I see manatees as beacons of hope.
Interaction with the manatee doesn't need words. Everything is so expressive. They all have different ways to interact and they all have different personalities. And when they start blinking like that in a friendly way, like when you pet an animal and it's like, ooh, I'm purring, that's when I know they're going to stay and interact. And that's communication. I will continue coming back. I will continue helping whatever way I can, but I also would like to invite everybody to join on the journey to better understand the manatees, to protect them, to have manatees part of your life. Is it finished? Can we go and swim with the manatees now?